First task I set myself is to remove the boot lid. They're standard 10mm bolts down there, or 10mm nuts. The wiring, that is a little bit tricky. Your best bet if you're going to do this is to just slice through the actual tape that they use over these clips so that the wiring can just fall down. As you can see, this one is already broken. That had nothing to do with me, that was broken already, but the other one came out, which is that one. So I'll probably still be able to use that. The little lights which go in here, the only way I found of removing those, which are these here, they've got an arrow on them showing that way, and you can actually push them, but it pushes on this edge here. The easiest way was to just put a long screwdriver in and push that one closed. Not too mad, and then it will pop out, and then it will pop out, and you can just remove it. So that was the easiest for those. Now, the two cables that hold on those, or are connected to those rear lights, number plate lights, they're held into another bracket in here with connectors. You have to cut those connectors. I'll show you when I get them. In fact, I can get this one out now. It's undone, but they're screwing. They're held in by these zip ties, and these two white brackets are actually, you screw them to bolt them on. They're sort of on a thread, so there's no way you can undo that with the cable attached, so you have to cut that cable off. Now you can put a new zip tie in there and still reuse them. So the obvious thing is you put these on first, then you put your zip tie in and zip tie the cable to it. So there's two of those. So those two are the ones that hold the cable into your number plate lights. You'll see it when you get underneath the vehicle. Well, when you have a look in there, you'll see what's going on. To get the actual brake light unit out, that sits on two long bolts which are inside. You just remove the 10mm nuts, and to remove that there's two little tabs there, one there and one there, and all you have to do is put, as you're pushing that, you can see from the top, just make sure the two tabs clear and it will just come out quite easy. And that is the tailgate. All of the lights removed from the tailgate. So all I have to do now is remove those bolts, nuts, and lift the tailgate off. Now you can, if you're not going to repaint it, mark where it's coming off so you can go back straight on. Because I'm repainting the whole thing, plus I'm used to putting panels on and off, I'm just going to paint it and then I'll fit it and make sure everything fits when I go to fit it back up. The rubber is a one-piece rubber, so you have to remove the tailgate anyway, or the boot lid. You have to remove the boot lid to remove the rubber. So I'm just going to get that off now. Now if you're doing this solo, I do recommend putting a couple of bits of rags down on the bottom corners of the tailgate there, because as you start undoing the last two nuts, it will want to drop. And then if you're not doing any paintwork, for instance, you don't want to ruin the car or getting it scratched. And once your boot lid is off, you then have access to removing the rubber and clearing out the boot there correctly. Inside the boot, holding all of the lining on, are those little brackets they put in to hold it. All you have to do is get yourself something like a little pick, just pull out the center of that gently, and you'll be able to pull the whole thing out. They're very simple to do. And once the boot lid is out, everything else is straightforward. Two little rubber grommets that just prise out. The two rubber stops, they just lift out, get a screwdriver underneath and just prise the rubber out. The other clip came out with a bit of tentative persuasion, and that is really it. So you can see on this one, it's got a bit of rust there up by the lip. That will have to be done. And even where the bolts or nuts go onto those bolts to hold the tailgate in place, you can see the rust underneath them. Now that doesn't need to be cut out, it does need to be treated. And just to confirm about that badge at the back, it's actually got held in by two little pins. I think those two little pins, yeah, hello Sage. I think those two little pins are supposed to have like a metal catcher which goes onto the back of it, which they normally get broken or lost if you ever remove the badge. I know this car has had a repaint, pretty poor one at that, but that's irrelevant. And so they just pop this back on and obviously cut tape to fit this. But I'll show you when we go to fit it back up the proper clips for it, and it'll hold it in nice and tight. The tail lights connector has one of those little pressing connectors, so just push each side in and it'll pop out from where it sits. Disconnect it. On the light unit itself there are two nuts which you undo from inside, but it won't pop out. This little plastic protrusion here, just give out a little tap with a hammer very gently and it'll push the light out, and your grommet just simply pushes through. So the whole unit comes out like that, and you do exactly the same with the other side. The interior boot trim, as you can see, is mouldy. I don't really want to pack them away in that condition. So I think the best thing that I can do at the moment now is get my carpet cleaner machine and give these a good scrub before I put them away. So I'll do that and we'll see the difference. And after a quick clean up, they're in somewhat better shape. One last thing left to remove, which would be the boot lock, which is there, and the key part, which is there. Straightforward, 4 bolts, take them out, remove the remote cable, and then that's all done there. Now I can see why the MX is rust. There are absolute just wet places that get caught, or places that get caught with damp, especially in these wells down there on the battery. You can see there's rust down there, There's a little bit of rust all around there really, but we'll wait till we come to that. You can see it's got a battery overflow and breather, which of course the battery that was in it didn't have either. So really they were just sitting there. Yeah, hello Sid. The boot itself is fairly clean. They did put grommets in the boot. You can remove them to drain, but the point is, if most people don't. There's one down there, one there, one there. You come over to the battery side and there's one down there and one over there, only little tiny ones, and a big one there. Really, if you wanted to be particular, you just make a little hole in those and let the water run out, or the damp, even in the summer when it's sitting in a shed. With the rubber on, it gets like airtight in the boot, and what happens is that creates condensation. So during those summer months it might be wise for you just to remove the grommets and let the thing actually breathe. You can see the mould. You can see the mould that's built up on the fuel pipe there, the inlet, the overflow pipe here comes down. It's all sort of just messy really. There is a little bit of rust, but it's not the end of the world type rust. So overall in the boot, it's not that bad. You can see where someone at some stage gave the little rim of metal a bit of a knock where the shock goes up. I mean, even where the shock sits in, it's not a great place because damp can get in there as well. And the same with that side, damp can get in there. But anyhow, I wouldn't worry about that for now. It's just things I'm looking at and I'm seeing. I noticed that that cable there was just hanging. So obviously I'll find out what that's for. Odd to have a cable hanging. 3 cables going into it, a blue, white and a black. Or black and white. Sorry, blue, black and white and black. I'll find out what that's for, it's not a problem. Electric aerial. Everything is not that bad, to be honest with you. It seems okay. So I'm happy with that. Obviously a load of crud and dirt in it, but that will be sorted out. Quick hoover will get rid of most of that. Okay, let's get that lock off. In order to get the trunk key lock out, you have to remove the bumper first because it comes outwards that way. Now the bumper is straightforward, but like mine, you'll probably come across rusted nuts and you're going to have to cut them off. Or rusted screws that someone's put in place of the plastic ones. There isn't a lot to the rear bumper. You've got 2 spline bolts here. They're right in front of you. You undo those 2. The ones where the rear lights were, they're already out. And then you have where the rear inner flap guard is, that one. That's the one at the top that I couldn't undo it, no matter what I tried. Had to end up getting a hacksaw in there and cutting it. Rectifying it and making something suitable is okay. Same with down the bottom. I'm going to have to undo it once I get it up on the bench there, because that was all rusted as well. But the others are straightforward. I'll show you what they were. Same for the other side. Exactly the same. Now underneath you have 4. At the bottom of the bumper you got 4 of those. On mine there was only 2. 2 were missing, which just go underneath it. Undo them as much as you can. They're going to be worn. Get something in between there to prise it out and the thing will pop out. I recommend new types of fittings for these when they go back on. But the bumper isn't held on by a lot. And once the bumper is off, you're left with the bumper bar, and that's 4 bolts. 4 nuts. 3, sorry. 1, 2, 3, and 3 on that side there. And the whole rear bar will come off. And there are 2 little brackets on the bumper. That one. And one exactly the same on the other side. And they will be pushed out from in there. You can see where the little gap is there. You can see daylight through. Okay. You'll see the white bit of plastic poking out. All you have to do with them is make sure the side is pushed in. There's 2 little grips and it will push through. And of course, once you've done undone those 3 bolts or 6, the bumper bar is off. So now we have a rear of the car, which is really getting fairly back to basics. Okay, that's coming along well.